Good morning, students. So in today's class, we will see about repairing underwater structures. So before entering into this interesting topic, so we should know what is the objective of repair method selection. So there are many methods are available for repair of cracks and for repair of spalling. So in that, which method should be selected is determined based on the restoration capacity and at what strength it should be increased. It depends on the stiffness also, whether the material which I use for the repair is having the flexibility or it should be an odd material. And next, based on its functional performance, whether it is used in an environment where fully acid is involved, or it is in underwater concreting, or it is exposed to severe rain. Okay, whether it is going to take a dynamic loading like a machine foundation. So based on its functional performance we should decide the repair method. And next one is based on the water tightness. So the material, repair material and technique what I should implement is should be waterproof or not. Suppose if you are making an repair work for an water tank, it should be watertight, or else the purpose of doing the repair work is totally wasted. And aesthetic view. So if the repair work what you are doing comes on the surface which is visible to the environment, how the texture should be. Suppose if you use a fiber reinforced concrete as repair material, that fibers will be sometimes visual to the outside environment, so which aesthetically won't be good looking. So like that we have to decide it. And also durability, so this one is an important factor. So many of the chemical companies are concentrating on this durability. So whatever repair material we are going to use should have the durability property, because so it should come for a long time. So some they may tell it can this repair material if you use it or the chemical use it will come for some 5 years or 2 years, they can give a guarantee. But people's or the clients are preferring a material which should come for a longer time. And last one is the corrosive environment to the reinforcement. So the material what I am using, the technique what I am following should not create an acid environment to the concrete. So as you know that the if a acid environment is created, if the pH is reduced, what will happen? It will result in the corrosion or the reinforcement. So those things we should look into the conditions so that the repair methods can be selected. And some of the factors, so when we see at the distressed area or the damaged surface, we should know how much extent and what type of failure it is. It is a structural crack or non-structural crack. And also the location where it is located, whether the location can be easily accessed, whether it is in the fourth floor wall outside the building. So like that we should know the location. And also its environmental exposure, whether it is subjected to heavier rain or it is inside the building, or it is the building is located in a dry environment, or it is an underwater place. Like that the environmental exposure should be known. And also the skilled labor, so the labor what I am having can able to do this repair or not. And also the time and access for repair. So if we consider an industrial building, so it may be working for 24 hours, so we can't able to have a time to access. Suppose a college means it may be working during the weekdays, and at weekends we should make a time to work for that one. So at least 2 days, maybe Saturday or Sunday. So the curing and other things should be done. So without disturbing the conditions or functionality of that building, we should do the repair work. And also the appearance, as I discussed in the previous slide. And also the cost, so this is the main important deciding factor. So the repair work what I am doing, okay, with less cost or more cost. And another thing, we should compromise the quality also. So with the low cost the quality should be ensured. So in that way we have to select the repair method. So with this introduction, we will go to the today's topic, repair in underwater structure. So there are four techniques are available. One is surface spalling, second one is pre-packed aggregate concrete, third one is injection technique, and fourth one is steel sleeve repair technique. So first we will go for the surface spalling repair. So in surface spalling repair, so actually when we do a repair work, okay, for a building which is open to the atmosphere, so that itself is an hectic task and it requires a skilled labor. You consider or you think about a repair work which is done under the water, so lot of safety precautions we should take, and the person should wear proper protective suits with oxygen cylinder. You should enter into the water, and after that you should do the repair work. You can see how much complicated it is. So considering into the factor, doing an underwater repair is very much tedious. So first we will see this surface spalling repair. So what the skilled person who is doing underwater repair means, he will just wear the shorts with oxygen cylinder, he will enter into the water, and the identified location he will reach, and wherever the loose concrete is there, he will try to remove it. You consider this part, okay? So this is an underwater structure with pier and footing is placed. So in that, this is the damaged portion. First of all, what you should do means, you should remove the loose materials, and after that you should drill some holes and you should place the shear connectors. Once the shear connector is placed, you should cover it with a formwork. This formwork most preferable will be fiber reinforced panels, because that only won't be affected by the surrounding water. If you go for an wood or a steel, okay, steel means it can allow some water. So these fiber reinforced panels have some flexibility in that, and it can make a watertight environment. So for that we can fix this water fiber reinforced panel, and we have to tighten it to the surface of concrete, and we have to apply some grouting material to prevent the entry of water. And after that, by using a section pipe, whatever water which is accumulator or which is logged in this space where the repair work is done should be sucked out. And after that, we have to inject the repair material, either a cement grout which will set immediately, or a epoxy material we can use, or a micro concrete where the setting time will be less. So we have to inject it. How to inject it means, we have to start from the bottom. So here we have to fix a inlet port, and through that we have to inject the material. It will fill all the gaps, and then through the outlet, if that repair chemical comes out means, then we can determine that the area to be filled by this repair material has been completed, and then we can close both this port, and we can allow for curing. Okay, curing in the sense means for setting. So after some time, then setting as completed means we can remove this panel. So this is one method. So mostly the shear keys or shear connectors are very important. So by placing the shear connector only, that load will be transferred to the old concrete. So this is one method. And second method is pre-packed aggregate concrete. Okay, so pre-packed aggregate concrete we already seen to an open atmosphere. This one is under concreting. Here you can see this diagram. Okay, so we have to remove the damaged portion wherever the reinforcement, if it is corroded means, we have to do the rust removal process, and then we should clean all the dust which is deposited in that, and then we should place the formwork. And while placing the formwork, we have to fill the gap graded aggregate. Once we place the gap graded aggregate, we have to close entirely, and we have to fix some two ports. One is inlet port, another one is outlet port. And what we should fill means, we should fill it with a cement sand grout, or a epoxy material, or a micro concrete. Once we just inject that one, it will fill all the gaps. Since we are using a gap graded aggregate, the voids will be somewhat in such a way that, okay, it can allow that grout material to fill in between the aggregates. And then once it reaches this side, So if consider this the inlet, it will fill all the gaps and then it will come out. Once it comes out, then we can decide that the grouting has been completed, all the gaps between the aggregate has been filled, and then we can stop this operation. So this is called pre-packed aggregate concrete. Already aggregate is packed inside, and we are allowing the cement, sand, slurry, or epoxy material to fill in between the gaps. Okay, and next one we will see about injection technique. So injection technique is a technique where cracks are there, means there we can use some epoxy material and we can inject it. So by injection what will happen means it will fill into all the gaps and then it can be closed. Either a cementitious grout can be used or a epoxy resin can be used. Here in this picture you can see a person is wearing all these shorts and he is just injecting this chemical in the cracks or the voids which is placed there. And the last one is steel sleeve repairing technique. So in this technique what is the process is that, so if the damages are more, here you can see, okay, this pier which is under the water, okay, all these sites has been spalled. Okay, if you do the normal previous operation like that surface spalling or pre-packed aggregate, it will take more time. Okay, and the process of fixing the formwork also will take more time. So in that case, ready instant with fastly, if I want to complete the work, mean just insert a sleeve which has a more diameter. Okay, and then we have to place the shear keys. Okay, here you can see the shear keys. Okay, and after that we can do the concreting. Okay, with a repair material or an epoxy material or a micro concrete we can fill it, and we should allow the sleeve in that. Okay, so this technique is called surface sleeve technique. Okay, here also you can see some operations where how that steel sleeve is formed. It is not exactly the steel sleeve. They are using a normal, okay, temporary formwork, and once the concreting or the work is completed, they will remove the formwork. Okay, I can't able to get the exact picture of the steel sleeve. Okay, this is some operation. Here you can see once the concrete has been poured from the surface, it is overflowing. By the time they can predict that it has been filled and we can stop it. Okay, so this is the easiest technique when compared to other methods. So with this four technique is over. Thank you.